Welcome back, everybody, to Waadaplaya Concussion Sub Retired Hurt series. We had India versus Sri Lanka today in Asia Cup. After the dismal performance versus Pakistan, India repeated the dismal performance. And guess what? They are finding themselves on the brink of a knockout. Sanjay Dubey, are they knocked out or will they be knocked out soon?
Well, for all intents and purposes, they are knocked out unless there's a proper miracle, not even a minor miracle. Pakistan losing to Afghanistan, then Sri Lanka um, uh, winning against Pakistan, and then India winning against Afghanistan, which seems to be a big challenge, probably the way we are playing, and then having the net run rate better than all the other teams. It seems a far-fetched dream, and to be honest, the way they've played, they deserve to be knocked out well ahead of all the other three teams.
Okay. Emotions are flowing high in our water player group. Let's look at the refresher about what happened today. Sri Lanka won the toss and put India to bat. India did, if you look at the score, 173 for 8, you would think they put up a decent par total, but they were on course for getting towards a 200 total. Rohit Sharma was on song. Virat Kohli was duck out. Sky gave a fantastic partnership. But then India lost their way and eventually ended up on 173 for 8. Sri Lanka at one point were cruising, 90 for no loss, looked like a 10 wicket victory. But then Yuzvendra Chahal brought India back into the game with those 3 wickets. And unfortunately, we again, game of margins, wides, misfields, tactical errors, and India ended up losing the game by 6 wickets with one ball remaining. So Sri Lanka all but through, and India all but knocked out. Quite disappointing with the preparations coming up in the World Cup, but Rohit Sharma seems to have brushed aside everything and said 2 losses won't put us back. So, as a fan perspective, what do you think?
It's pathetic to be honest because these two losses, these two are the most important T20 games we've played since the last two T20 games, which were the most important ones last year against New Zealand and Pakistan in the World Cup. All the other bilateral series are pretty much meaningless, not just to me, to most of the fans, and even to the players, because most of these players who are in the current 11, the top two, three, four players, they are not even featuring in these bilateral series. So from fans' perspective, it's really disappointing. He could have easily said that we didn't play well, we deserve to be knocked out. We apologize to the fans. We'll try and do better next time. The team selection, pathetic. Imagine Ravi Bishnoi bowling so well. He bowled in power play. He bowled at the net. He kept India in the game in that game against Pakistan, and then he gets dropped out. This is akin to dropping maybe Virat Kohli after that innings he had of 60. So it was quite disappointing. And we were discussing in our group as well that they will come up with some excuse or the other. Yes, it's one or two games. Yes, there'll be another game probably in the World Cup. We'll lose, and there'll still be another game. So we'll have lots of bilateral series, Paytm, Mastercard trophies, all that in our shell. But those Asia Cup, this one's gone. ICC tournament. I don't know when we'll win the next one, but I'm hoping that this is a big wake up call because the experiment just seems to go on and on and on. We had during the summer, you had Surya Kumar Yadav sometimes opening, if I'm not wrong. Then we had Rishabh Pant opening, Deepak Hooda opening. Literally, we are playing with 7 or 8 openers. So they have to make a decision what they want to do. Do they want to go with 6 bowling options, or if they want to half-heartedly pick up Hooda and not even give him a bowl? So clearly, they're not interested in developing another all-rounder. So I don't know what their plans are. It seems that it's all captain's calls, but I'm quite disappointed with the team selection to start with, and then with our bowling performance. Because every time we have Hardik Pandya as the fifth bowling option, and he's been really, you know, doing well since he's come back from injury and from the IPL. But every time he's the fifth bowling option, there seems to be more pressure, and he doesn't deliver. And we have to have six proper bowlers. If they do not trust Huda, then don't play him. Play DK or play someone else. So there's lots of things I'm really pissed off about, to be honest.
Tactically, Rohit Sharma and Rahul Dravid had a disappointing game. I mean, this was least expected from such an experienced duo. Like you mentioned, team selection was pathetic, to for the lack of better word. Bishnov deserved a chance, but Again, I think Chahal, everybody questioned the existence of Chahal in the 11, but he proved his worth of 3 wickets which he took. But from Dubai point of view, again, benefit or doubt, there are 9 matches so far in Asia Cup. Team batting second has won 7 of them. The 2 matches that won batting first were both against Hong Kong. So toss is another factor we always knew, and we also saw in IPL last year. We also saw in World Cup last year. Isn't toss the factor as well, Sanjay?
It is definitely a factor. I mean, if I was to extend that, I think it's 17 games out of 20 in Dubai that the team is, one batting second. So yes, it is a factor, but this is Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka had to play the qualifiers. Will have to play the qualifiers for the World Cup. This is this
Embarrassing.
is no this is no 90s Pakistan. This is Sri Lanka who is struggling from all perspectives. So first of all, it's fantastic for Sri Lanka as a country, for their team. No one gave them a chance. They almost got knocked out against Bangladesh, but they've been just growing and growing and growing, and this was near on a complete performance. But yes, from India's perspective, you can look for excuses, but don't tell me that this wasn't a game they couldn't have won. Yes, I give them that after that poor start, initial 2 wickets. Rohit Sharma, I think this is his best innings in T20. In the last couple of years, I can remember any noteworthy of. So they did really well, but we didn't kick on. Rishabh Pant, Hardik Pandya, and Huda couldn't provide the finishing touches. Bhuvneshwar Kumar has completely lost his batting, it seems. Ashwin did score a few runs, which got us 274 odd. But surely you have to have better bowling performance. Everyone knew that after 7 or 8 overs, unless there was a miracle, we would have always going to be losing the game. Sri Lanka did their best to try and get India back onto the game, but in the end, yes, I do get that record of chasing team having the upper hand, but that's still very disappointing.
Yeah, meanwhile, credit where it is due. Sri Lanka bowling performance outstanding. They opened with a spinner, Mahesh Theekshana, but Dilshan Madhushanka, who took Virat Kohli's wicket, he ended up with 4 overs, 3 for 24, dream figures. Mahesh Theekshana, 4 overs, 1 for 29. Chamika Karunaratne, 2 for 27 in 4. Hasaranga is none for 39. And then Asita Farhando and Dasun Shanaka, 2 each, and they went 14-13 per over. I think they will be really pleased with the way they are peaking at the moment. And at this rate, looking to me that they'll definitely be part of the favorites for Asia Cup.
Absolutely, I think they've got one step in the finals. I think they're almost certain to go through to the finals. If anything, I mean, if Pakistan beats Afghanistan tomorrow, then that's it. It will be a Pakistan Sri Lanka final, and Sri Lanka, remember, are the hosts, so it's great for them. They'll hopefully win the tournament from now on. That'll be the team I'll be supporting. But yeah, from an India perspective, again coming back because that's where we are really sort of sulking. The problem we have with the current bowling setup is Bhuvneshwar is very good in power play. Arshdeep is not good in power play. So on one hand, you have Bhuvneshwar bowling tightly in power play and Arshdeep leaking. And right at the end of the innings, Arshdeep is superb in death overs. And Bhuvneshwar, you've seen in the last 2 games, he could not he could not defend 10, 12 runs, and he's given what 6, 7 runs for Arshdeep to defend in the last over. So Bhuvneshwar at the key moments is not delivering, which is a big concern. We've all talked about how in the past his death bowling skills have been questioned, and it looks like a problem going forward.
Yeah, and let's put some stats up for death over economy rates of Indian bowlers in 2022. T20s, minimum 4 overs in death overs. Avesh Khan, 18 runs per over. Harshal Patel, 11 runs per over. Hardik Pandya, 10.2. Bhuvi, 10 runs. Ravi Bishnoi, 8 runs. And guess who is taking the economy? Arshdeep Singh, 6.7 runs. So that seals the deal. I think that been the fundamental problem. Even if you look at Hong Kong game, we've spoken about it, that the area of concern is bowling. And this is what second 170 plus score Sri Lanka are chasing. Granted, they are there in good form, but India could not defend an 180 score in the previous game and an 170 in the previous game. Clearly, there is a lack of a strike bowler or somebody who can stifle, which is a big concern going into the World Cup squad.
Absolutely, and this is why this whole team selection is so baffling for me. So clearly, our bowling is the weaker point in this tournament so far, from what I can see. So either the batters get 15, 20 extra runs so that the bowlers have cushion, or we strengthen our bowling. Neither we are getting those extra 15, 20 runs, neither we are strengthening our bowling. So um, it is difficult to manage that situation. And looking at how Rohit Sharma was reacting, I think this whole close games has got on to him, which is not great signs, because you would not see that when he used to captain Mumbai Indians. So this body language is not a great sign for India going forward, because he was really upset with Rui's drop catch. Obviously, he was upset with Arshdeep's drop catch. And I don't think he's really liking the losses which no one would as a captain, obviously, and there's a lot of pressure on him, because remember, Virat Kohli was sacked because he could not win an ICC trophy for the time he was being captain. So I'm almost certain that if one way or the other, if Rohit doesn't win the World Cup or doesn't do really well, we'll be looking for a new captain in 2 months' time.
And selection headaches too, going into Afghanistan game. Do you see changes coming in the playing 11? I see two changes, but I'll wait for yours before I tell mine.
So clearly, Rohit's got zero confidence in Huda as a bowler, because you had one situation where Pakistan, it was a 50-50 game. You could have easily tried him. This was after 7, 8 overs. It's a hopeless situation. Nothing's happening, and they're just going after the bowling. So why not give him a go? So we got two different types of games where they've not tried him. It's not even there's no not even an excuse that you did not have left-handers to bowl at. So, considering all that, I'm just going to drop Huda, because there's no point in carrying the poor guy who's in red hot form, but red hot form at the top of the order. If you're going to play him at number seven, not even going to get him a bowl at the top, then yeah, just get DK in, because there's no point in expecting Huda to be the finisher. We effectively got 5 or 6 players who've opened for India in the last 3, 4 months. So yeah, that's one thing which I'll change. I'll definitely get Bishno in. Um, I'd probably drop Ashwin and get
I'll tell
Akshar
you what.
Patel.
I'll tell you what. I think that's what's this team is all about backing, as they say. Captain backs us no matter what. But you're giving one game each. You drop Dinesh, and then you brought in somebody. Then you're giving Ash one game and dropping it. My recommendation would be get Aksar for Huda in the next game. Drop Pant and get Dinesh Karthik back and give him another go at it so that he at least has a decent substantiation if he gets selected for World Cup. Otherwise, you pick him up for World Cup squad, everybody is going to point fingers saying what was DK's contribution.
Yes, so it's quite unfair on DK, and this is where having that merry-go-round of playing everyone at the top is what baffled me during the summer, because if you knew that when Virat Kohli and KL Rahul are available, they're going to straightway walk into the team. There was no point in trying anyone else apart from the ones who are not certainty for the potential World Cup berth. So see, to be honest, if Pakistan beat Afghanistan tomorrow, I might just drop everyone and play whoever is available. Play Irfan Pathan maybe, because no one really cares. No one really cares what they do against Afghanistan. They can beat them by 200 runs or whatnot. It's going to be material. The problem is, I think India are choking under pressure. The big games, the big guys are not able to deliver those key moments, and these are all. It will always be very small margins, because this is T20. It will always be ending up in penultimate over or the last over. So, at crunch situations, if you are not delivering, I think there's a serious problem. you would, I can guarantee you, we'd probably win both the bilateral Mastercard series in the next month. But we won't have another chance of winning an Asia Cup for a couple of years.
Excellent stuff. So lots to think about for India. That is Rahul Dravid and Rohit Sharma's problem. World Cup squads are coming up. I think 16th or 18th of September, all squads are supposed to be up and running. So it'll be interesting to see what India will do. But meanwhile, Sri Lanka are on a roll. I know I'm supporting Afghanistan, but watch out for Sri Lanka. And Gautam Gambhir probably has an egg on his face. He told on the commentary that I'm surprised Sri Lanka won the Asia Cup 5 times. Guess what happened today? The same Sri Lanka booked your return ticket for Team India almost. So this is going to be quite a fascinating thing. And Dravid needs to stop experimenting is another comment. So who do you boil this down to? I think Prajosh Nanu is saying. So is this captain's decision? Is it coach? Is it collective decision?
So let me put it this way: whatever happens, I'm just going to put it on the captain. If we win everything, I'm just going to say Rohit Sharma is the best captain in the world. If see, squad selection is different. Maybe the coach has some inputs, but the team selection, once you've got 15, 16 players,
So
then
who do
I'd
you
say the
boil
captain
this
makes
down
a
to?
call.
I think Prajosh Nanu
The
is saying.
captain decides
So is
who
it captain's
plays and who
decision?
doesn't play. So from my perspective, it's all Rohit Sharma's call. And from what I heard, the coach doesn't have much say in the team selection. Yeah, they should stop experimenting. Dravid does look like a science student, but clearly Rohit Sharma needs to stop experimenting.
And from India point of view, so going into Afghanistan, if you were Rohit Sharma, forget about team selection. What else tactically you will change? Because he tried something different today. He brought Chahal within the power play, which did not work. So what else would you do? And what would you tell the team now that we are almost out of Asia Cup?
Well, I just, to be honest, just play the same team. At least give them two games at a go, but not play Huda because clearly he doesn't want to bowl Huda at all. So at least have that sixth bowling option. I think that's where Hardik Pandya has also not helped Rohit's cause because Hardik was bowling superbly when he was the sixth bowling option. As soon as he's the fifth bowling option, he has to bowl those 4 overs. He's conceding runs, and so is everyone else. So from that perspective, although Chahal bowled really well, I might get Bishnoi back. To be honest, at this point, I don't even care what they do. So I'm looking forward to 23rd, 24th of October now. I really don't care what they do in 5, 6 weeks. Whichever team they pick, I'm just going to back them to do well at the World Cup. But this tournament is done for us.
Yeah, and Prajosh continues to seems to think that this is coach's decision, not captain's. But again, that debate will continue. It's quite disappointing end to almost India's Asia Cup. But congratulations, Sri Lanka fans! Fantastic performance. You guys knocked it out of the park. Make sure you go all the way to the finals versus Afghanistan. Hopefully, that'll be the game to see. Tomorrow will be Pakistan versus Afghanistan. And if Pakistan win tomorrow, India is out. By any chance Pakistan lose tomorrow, India still have a chance, but time will tell if that will happen. Sanjay, thanks for
This
making time. I know it is very late in UK and you are on vacation. We really appreciate you making time. And folks who have engaged, click that like button and join us for the next episode. See you later.
Thank you, guys.